Do I think it's really important that a kid knows what 5 times 8 is? My answer is yeah. And so I actually believe that if a kid can't estimate, they're in trouble. And the only way you estimate is that there are things about multiplying by tens and hundreds and thousands you got to know. And there's things about what is 4 plus 3 and what is 4 times 3 and all that you got to know. I want you to know that if you add hundreds and hundreds, you're getting hundreds. And I want you to know if you multiply hundreds by hundreds, you are not getting hundreds. You're getting like a way bigger number. If I were in charge of the curriculum, which I am not, but if I were, there would be virtually no computation left beyond the little numbers except for estimation. Because I think in the society in which we live, which is very technologically rich, there are very few people, there are some, but there are very few people who need to be very calculating proficient. Most of us need to know that if I go here and they said it costs this, that makes sense. That's what I need to know. So if I had added it myself on a piece of paper and I got 1321 and the calculator says 1323, I'm actually going to believe the calculator and I don't really care. I needed to know I was like in the 1300s. Teachers tell me all the time that kids don't want to estimate. And the reason they don't want to estimate is because they're asking them to calculate too. I've actually worked very hard with teachers to give them tricks to make it impossible to calculate, and that the only thing you can do to estimate. And as I said, if I were in charge of the curriculum, I would actually make estimating the big stuff and calculating is minor stuff, other than those initial small number things which you actually do require for estimating. So if a child were having to do a 2-digit by 2-digit or 3-digit by 2-digit multiplication, the truth is I want them to know that the answer is in the 10,000s or the 100,000s or whatever it is. And you know, like it's 600,000, not 200,000. That would be great too. That's the thing I care about the most. And what I care about the least is whether the tens digit is 4 or 7. So I actually believe there is a set of skills that are computational, where you do need to be fluent at some point, and that if you're not, it really will impact your learning in a negative way. But I divorce that from a set of skills like I can add 5 3-digit numbers. Like whatever, you know, I'll get out my calculator to do 5 3-digit numbers. This is the same thing as almost a variation of what I said before, that people just like lump things together that aren't together. So if you're thoughtful, you think about what are the things that are really important to practice. So I think there are skills, computational skills that are important to practice. But I also think it's important to practice problem solving. And I also think it's important to practice thinking. One of the ideas I often work with teachers is that I believe one of the ways they should work with kids is to say something like, so if I tell you this, what else do you know? I think you should practice that too.